mentioned earlier on, we're about to embark and give them a chance to make a presentation and to let us know, and the business sector, why they should be the next governor of this great state, Lagos. So ladies and gentlemen, please, first to the podium, can I give a round of applause, please, for the governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress, APC. Welcome, Mr. Akinwunmi Ambode.
The President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the ESCO members of the Chamber, the panelists, and everyone seated here. My name is Akinwunmi Ambode. I was born 51 years ago. I was born in Epe, which is the eastern parts of Lagos State. I have had the privilege to have attended the best schools locally and internationally. I started my career at Lagos State Waste Disposal Board in 1985, which is an important agency of government. I worked as treasurer in several local governments where I developed a deep understanding of how government works at the grassroots level. I also acquired a deep understanding of how local government finances operate and its impact on our citizens. Thereafter, I became the Auditor General for local government, where I had an overview of the 57 local government and SCDs and the way they operate. This was, in essence, a larger stage for me to operate and develop my knowledge of how the entire local government system operates. I then moved on to become the Auditor General and Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance at the age of 37, where I had even larger stage to open and interact and learn from two different governments in which this state had produced. Beyond that, I have worked in a company that you can refer to as Lagos State Government. And in doing all that for 27 years, I built all my skills and experience to become what you can refer to today as the managing director of that company. I've also worked as an entrepreneur in the private sector. I opened up a consulting firm that actually specialized in public financial management. I haven't gone to school to earn my skills at the Harvard Kennedy School of Government and Public Financial Management. So I've developed some kind of partnership in the areas in which I found myself in my career. I come with the experience in the private sector and also a deeper experience from the public service. I have been an employer of labor, and I also understand what it takes to run a business in the private sector. I want to be the governor because I believe with my experience in the private sector, joined with the public sector experience, there is still more that I can do for my state, and that's why I want to serve. I believe strongly that public service is a noble service. Throughout my career, I've developed myself internally and also externally. I have cutting-edge skills to prepare me for the different tasks that is ahead of me as the governor of Lagos State. I obtained my ICANN qualification at the age of 24. I became a graduate at 21. I got to the peak of my career at 37. If you're looking for somebody that has corporate experience to run this company called Lagos State, that's the person that is in me. What I just need to tell you, if we took Lagos State as a construction site, I can say clearly that I've been a plumber, I've been a carpenter, I've been a foreman, I've been a supervisor. What I want now is for you to join hands with me to make me the project manager for the next 4 years. And then what's my vision? My vision is to see a clean, secure, and more prosperous Lagos State that is driven with service, driven with equity and justice, and a robust economy. My message is still the same. My message is the message of Lagos, where L stands for leadership, and we're looking for strong leadership. I open myself up to say I'll be accountable, and that's where A is. And G, to give you good governance, where we'll have all opportunities for everyone to thrive in Lagos, and then I give you selfless service. And what are the key issues for us here? There are 4 cardinal issues that we need to look at in the development of Lagos State. We're looking at the economic development pillar, in which we can create a thriving economy, a thriving business environment for all our private sector investors to be able to thrive comfortably, and then make cost of governance so comfortable and cheap for them. Beyond that, we'll be looking at our social infrastructure, where we are able to ensure that all things that we lay down is for the benefit of our people. And that was the essence of what we're saying. We ensure that there's security in the states. Lagos has become safer in the last 7 years. And then the whole government of what we want is to create more jobs for our people. Nobody can create jobs than all the people that are seated here. It's for us to create an enabling environment for all of you, to allow us join hands together as partners to create jobs for our youths. Beyond that.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry, time is up, sir. Can we have a round of applause, please, for...
Thank you very much, Olisa. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me especially recognize the President of the Chamber, the executive members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jimmy Agbaje, the gubernatorial candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos State. I'm a pharmacist by profession, 57 years old, born and bred in Lagos, an indigene of Lagos State. Let me say that I've lived all my life here in Lagos, except of course for my university education, which I did at the university, the then University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University. A very proud Nigerian, proud and even prouder Lagosian. I've traveled across different parts of the world, of the globe, and I've seen cities, I've seen global mega cities, I've seen cities that have grown. I come and say that my state, this city-state, can be a much better city-state. So I look at a Lagos that is a global mega city, populated by well-educated, highly skilled, healthy people living in a secure and prosperous environment. I'm looking at a Lagos that brings opportunities to everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone, irrespective of their socio-economic background, irrespective of their gender, irrespective of their tribe or religion. A Lagos that is more business friendly, bearing in mind that it is the economic hub of our country and the sub-region. So I look at a Lagos that must be more business friendly. And it's on that note that the agenda, at least as it affects the business community, is set. I come from a private sector background. I started as a small, what you call a small entrepreneur. Started with a one pharmacy shop, and I've grown my business in a way that we have gone into manufacturing. In fact, first took the first steps of small-scale manufacturing before setting up what you could call a factory. We have represented multinationals in this country as far as pharmaceuticals are concerned. So I know that if we want to run an economy, a Lagos economy, that is driven by the private sector, I know where the shoe pinches. So I'm coming on board and saying that our agenda is set by the realities that we have today. We have the macro level realities where the oil price has come down to below $50 and is estimated that it could reach $40. That in itself brings challenges to our economy in Lagos. And that means that we have to look at doing things differently. We're looking at an economy where with the oil price drop and all, we're going to have an economy that our foreign allocation from the federal is likely to shrink. Income from taxes and VAT will reduce. Even the IGR will be affected if the economy remains so. We estimate that this will be so for the next 2 years or so. And that means, and we also have that combined with the national reforms going on in our country, the rail system, for example. These are issues that are likely to affect Lagos. Lagos, it means that Lagos will lose some of its competitive advantage as we move forward. If you use the rail system, for example, it means that industries may find it more convenient to take their businesses to where the raw material is and begin to ship their finished products to Lagos. It means that some of our residents will find it more convenient to stay outside Lagos and come by rail to Lagos. So there is the issue that we cannot take for granted that Lagos will continue to thrive. And so our agenda is set that if we want to affect that, then the micro level realities, the issues of security, the issues of infrastructure development, the issue of labor and manpower, these are issues that will affect us as we move on. The issue of the cost of doing business in Lagos. And so our agenda is set for us, where we're able to say it is time for us to look at these issues in the way that we can move forward. And so we're saying that the way forward for Lagos, bearing in mind these realities, is a diversified economy. We need to diversify the economy of Lagos much more than we are today. We need to look at new areas. We're talking of specialized economy. We're looking at specialized economy. Is it time? Oh, really?
Yes, sir. Please. Thank you, sir. Candidates will ask questions to one candidate, and he will get 3 minutes to respond, and the same question will be offered to the other candidate, and he will have 3 minutes to respond. So please, once again, can we keep some decorum in the hall? Keep all the clapping and chanting and cheering to the bare minimum, please. We're going to start, as we started with the APC candidate first of all. This time around, we're going to start with the candidate from the PDP, and the first question is from Gabriel. Gabriel, go ahead, sir.
Ease of doing business. Businesses complain a lot about multiple taxations, arbitrary fees and fines. For instance, look at the use of the World Bank report. Construction permits in Lagos requires 13 procedures and a minimum of 7 days. To register a property will be 18 procedures and a minimum of 111 days. What would you do to make Lagos easier to do business with, to reduce the issue of multiple taxations and what have you?
Let me add to it very quickly. This, our Lagos, is considered as the 137th state. That same report, you've probably been politically not saying it. 137th state in 140 different cities in 140. We're the 4th worst city to get a construction permit. That is how bad it is. We're number 119 out of the 120 cities to register property. And so what we're saying is that it is time to reduce the bureaucracy. Lagos State is guilty of taking regulation matters as a source of revenue. There are two different issues. That you're regulating on one hand, but you don't use the advantage of regulation to look at it as if it's a source of income. If you're talking about construction permits, you're talking about having buildings that are put in place. But what Lagos does is all those steps you've mentioned, it's just so that they can raise more money. Yes, it's good to raise money, but then there's the other side of it, and that's what you have. So we're saying that we're going to reduce that even within Nigeria. Even within Nigeria, if you look at the survey done by the World Bank, Lagos is the worst state, the worst in Nigeria to get construction permits. It is number 36 out of 36. So we've got to change that to move Lagos from number 36 out of 36 to number 1 out of number 36.
Thank you, thank you. Can we get a response, please, from the APC candidate?
I'm not sure anybody that wants to be the governor of Lagos State will be so proud to be relishing the negatives about Lagos State. Just one second. I'm very proud of Lagos.
Please, let's hear the candidate.
I'm very proud of Lagos. I believe so much in Lagos, and I believe in the prosperity of Lagos. What are we saying? What are we saying here? How do we do it in such a way that the cost of business is reduced? How do we do it that there is no multiple taxation? That's what they are asking us, and it's very simple. What is multiple taxation? That's when you get this feeling that a particular government is taxing you 2 times on a particular item, or 2 different kinds of government, they are taxing you on the same item. So what are we going to do? There are laws that have been established that itemize the kind of tax items that local governments are collecting and the ones that the states are collecting. If you are paying your pay as you earn, and then the federal government is also asking you to pay corporate tax or to take business permits, all that will appear more like double taxation. What we intend to do is that we will allow stakeholders to come together and we harmonize taxes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Both candidates, you live in Lagos and you live in the transport situation in Lagos. What are your programs to deal with the whole gamut of transport issues in Lagos and move it to the level that you think Lagos should be as far as public transportation is concerned?
We cannot have a true global mega city that does not have an efficient transport system. And when we're talking about an efficient transport system, we're talking about an intermodal transport system. And that means that we have to look at the road, we have to look at the rail, and we have to look at the water for Lagos. If we look at our road transportation, the BRT was a very good idea, but the implementation, was faulty. And that's why today you find that the BRT is no different from the motorways that we try to push on the roads. So we've got to be serious about the BRT, more serious than we have been. It's important that we take the light rail very seriously also. We have a light rail system that was supposed to have been ready in 2012. This is 2015. And what we're saying is that the model that has been used, the PPP model there, appears not to be as open and transparent. And that is why you're having the kind of delays that you're having on that axis. We need to have a PPP system in place for light rail, where you have transparency, you have openness, it's competitive, and then the people will benefit from it. Of course, for water transportation, it's important that we take more advantage of our water. It takes barely 20 to 30 minutes from Ikorodu to the island by water. But today, if you go by road, it takes about 4 hours. And so we're saying that these are areas that we have to take very, very seriously. Of course, it has to be in partnership with the private sector. It is something that is getting too late for us. You can't have a mega city of nearly 20 million people that does not have a transport system that works. I was a bit late today, 10 minutes late today, because I was caught in serious traffic. That should not happen. You should, in Lagos, in a mega city, a global mega city, be able to estimate your time on travel within 5 minutes. It is not so in Lagos and should not be so.
Thank you. Okay, we need a response from the APC candidate.
Our solution is very simple. It's an integrated transport management system that we intend to run. It's a combination of road, rail, walkways, air, and even tram system. But he said something about light rail. Thank God you have accepted that light rail is good. Between Okokomaiko and CMS, when that light rail system is finished, it will only take you like 15 minutes with 6 stops. But this is the only country in which a light rail system is being run and is being financed by the state government. There's nowhere in the world that the federal government does not partake in the construction of a light rail system. But again, thanks to the PDP government that you have in the system, they want to frustrate our people. They don't want our people to live comfortably.
Thank you.
Just go and check it. It's only River State and Lagos State that have done the light rail system with their own finances. I stand to be corrected. Beyond that, on the waterways, we have 236 licensed operators who are on these waterways, ferrying 1.5 million people every day. Look, waterways is just the same thing as road construction. You cannot just put the ferry and say it should sail. You need to construct the path that the ferries will take. It takes money. You need to dredge. If anybody comes here to tell you that they have some alternative means of doing it, our intention is to ensure that our people move from one point to the other safely and more comfortably. And that's what we will do. That's what we've been doing, and we'll continue to do it.
I just have just a minute on this, please?
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Yes. I think Mr. Ambode misses the point. The light rail, just like I said, it is the PP, or it is the model that is being used that has not allowed us to see the reality of that light rail on Okuku-Maiko axis. You just said it. It's government. Government cannot. What you should have is a model where government is like a road. If I relate it to the road network, government builds the roads and allows the private sector to run transportation. Government will build the rail line and allow the private people to carry the passengers. But there is this issue of vested interest in our Lagos, where some people want to take all the business at the expense of the people.
Thank you. Can we, the APC candidate would like to respond?
Just one comment, simple one. Let's get this right. Mr. Kwaje is standing here. He says that he believes so much in PPP that it should be a public-private partnership project. Very good. The only one that we have done successfully, which is the Lekki Toll Gate, which is a PPP project. Just one second.
Thank you.
The one we've done successfully, which is a PPP project, he goes out there and says he will cancel it. What message is he sending to investors? What message is he sending to you if he says the only PPP project that we have should be cancelled and he wants a PPP project at the light rail? So just compare what he's saying.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
We have
Just a clarification.
one more, please, quiet.
A clarification on the Lekki Toll Gate. Mr. Ambode has been in government for, 27 years? And I stand to be corrected. The Lekki Toll Gate today is not a PPP arrangement. There is no PPP arrangement on the Lekki Toll Gate. What we said was that that particular toll gate was given out as PPP for 50 billion from Victoria Island to Ekpe. It got to VCC and it was stopped. The arrangement, the concession was stopped, and the concessionaire was given 80 billion even without connecting to Ekpe. It is now government and government alone. So what is being terminated is not a PPP arrangement. Jimmy Agbaje has not said that he's going to terminate the PPP arrangement on the Ikoyi-Lekki toll, on the Ikoyi-Lekki Lake Bridge. That will remain as PPP because it is new, because there is an alternative for the people. But that Lekki toll one is no longer a PPP arrangement. So we are not saying that we're discouraging those who want to do partnership with government.
Thank you. Okay, are you?
There's a misinformation here.
Hold on, please. Let's hear the candidate.
I need to ask a new question.
You want to ask a question?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's move on, please. My question is around the mega city. A mega city requires a number of things, and two of them, to my mind, will be electricity and broadband infrastructure. Beyond what has been done today, what would be your initiatives to improve access to electricity for businesses and also access to broadband infrastructure for businesses in Lagos?
Yes. With regards to power, thankfully the federal government has privatized power. And what that means is that with time, it can only get better. Because don't forget that people have gone out taking heavy loans to bring about power. They must make a success of it. So in the interim, what the state government should be doing is how to supplement. And so the IPP that is being done in terms at least of the government facilities is a good idea. But bearing in mind that it is temporary, because as power improves, then there will be less need for that. In terms of broadband, again, you must have this. And that's why you will find that we're talking about even encouraging our younger ones, where we're going to provide what we call free Wi-Fi hotspots. And basically what you have is that, for example, our local government councils, there must be places where our younger ones can go and access internet facilities, especially outside Lagos metropolis, in Ekpe, in Badagry, in Ikorodu, because it's a source of knowledge. it's a source of transactions. Our business people, our small-scale people, should be able to go there and transact business. It's not something that can be done. We're not going to wire Lagos overnight, but we can begin to have these spots so that this can happen. And then we leave it to the Mrs. Okwekes and and those who benefit from main one cable to give the bigger services. But as an interim measure, that's the kind of thing that we're thinking about.
Thank you. Can we ask the APC candidate to respond to that question? Would you like the question again?
No.
Okay.
Power and provision for electricity is the mainstay and the responsibility of the federal government, which is a PDP government. What you have today in Lagos, the demand for electricity is 9,680 megawatts. What they are giving you is less than 900 megawatts. It's a shortfall of almost 9,000. But be that as it may, what is Lagos State government doing, and what are we doing? We've supplemented that with the Independent Power Project scheme, in which we are able to light up all your public utilities and all the streets and the general hospitals. What do you have in return? Rather than the federal government allowing us to provide you, investors and businessmen, this source of electricity, they blocked it. That's what they've done. So what else do we need to do? As much as we're trying to supplement their shortfall, they keep frustrating our businesses and not allowing people to have access to electricity. That's what is there. Beyond that, we've talked about Wi-Fi. Yes, I read in one of those bold ideas. They said they want to provide fast internet access. But is there electricity to even use the internet?
Thank you. Okay.
Sorry.
You would like to respond?
Yes, just again, we must be consistent. Mr. Ambode, some time ago, was an advocate of PPP. He now says that government or federal government is blocking them from providing power to the people. Nobody is blocking the state government from providing power to the people. Some people have put all their lives' investments in bringing about power as private people. And the guarantees they had was that they would be the ones to generate and distribute electricity. The moment you begin to take their market, then you are killing the private sector. What should happen is to allow those people to provide the electricity. Government has enough to do on its own to provide electricity for its own agencies. They have not done that. We have not fully lit up the whole of Lagos. Government should use its resources to make sure that its own facilities, its own local government councils have power so that the free Wi-Fi can work. That is what should happen. So it would not be right to kill private industry by saying that what government wants to do or what the state government wants to do is to take the juicy parts of Lagos and provide electricity in a manner that is not transparent and is not open. That should not be. Let government take care of its own institutions. It still has enough of institutions to cover, and let the private sector provide electricity for the people.
Okay.
My question is about human capital. And what plans do you have, do the candidates have, to ensure that as businesses in Lagos, we have access to the kind of talent and skills that we need to grow our economy and that are ready to work?
Yes, I had mentioned earlier about the realities, and that one of it was labor and manpower. Our Lagos State today, like I said, our children are not even passing the O-levels. And we're saying that the reason they're not passing is because we have not placed the right priorities on education. Our education budget, for example, puts 82% of that budget is on recurrent expenditure. We have a situation where for primary education, we provide about 3% of the budget. And we're saying that there is no way you're going to have an education system. You're not going to have the right people in a global megacity if the primary education is faulty. We have a situation where you're having primary school leavers, and you're pumping them with work at the secondary level when they do not even understand how to read, to write, and to think in English. That there's no way you're going to have the kind of manpower that you're looking for. We're also saying that we need a global mega city that requires technical and vocational skills. And that again, this government is putting about 1.5% of its budget only on technical and vocational skills acquisition. That cannot be the way forward in terms of improving labor and manpower. And that in our time, we're going to provide more resources for education. Again, in terms of teacher development, we need more teachers because we don't have enough teachers. In terms of training, in terms of welfare, and that is important if we want. There's no global mega city that thrives without having the proper labor and manpower skills.
Thank you. Can we throw the question, please? Thank you. And we can respond from the APC candidate, please.
We're talking about the labor gap that we're having, and then where can we get the requisite skills to feed into our industries? The future of Lagos is more on technical and vocational education. We need to start to place emphasis, not necessarily on what they're doing, but on recognizing them and giving them scholarly advice to allow us break into those jobs that the foreigners have been taking up. That's what we need to embellish. Beyond that, in our tertiary institutions, we need to start looking at new curriculum that actually fits into the labor gap that we're having. Aside of that also, when you look at even the JAMB results, only 30% of those people who take JAMB actually pass. So what's going to happen to those 70%? They don't go to school, they don't get any work, but what is our intention? We'll create more jobs for these people to work, and at the same time introduce online courses in our tertiary institutions. People can go to work and also school, and then we expand the labor market to allow us feed into the gaps that we have in the industry. So that's what we're going to do. It's not about the statistics that my opponent is talking about. It's about expanding the ideas behind allowing everybody to have access to jobs. And that's what we will do.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can we have a round of applause for both of you? You like to respond, sir?
Yeah, just very quickly.
Okay, quick response from the PDP candidate, please.
Just very quickly, I want Mr. Ambode to get my message. I am saying that the state government is paying lip service to education. It is not putting its money where its mouth is.
That's absolutely untrue.
1.5% to technical and vocational skills cannot be said to be a government that is serious about improving technical and
Is it 1.5% of the total budget?
Education budget. You are an accountant, you can check it up. It is 1.5%.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Can we have a round of applause for both candidates, please? Okay, this is the last bit we're going to do now. We're going to ask each candidate just for their closing remarks. As we kicked off at the beginning with the APC candidate, would allow the PDP candidate to start off. You have like 3 minutes, sir. Okay, to close up, please, sir. Mr. Ambode for the PDP.
Well, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your attention. The elections that come up February 28th, for us, we're talking about an election that is between continuity and change. And that is the decision before the people of Lagos. On our part, we recognize that there has been some progress in our Lagos, but we do not believe that Lagos has received value for money. Over 4 trillion naira after, we don't believe that the major issues that are needed to grow a mega city are in place. And that is especially as regards education, as regards the health of the people, as regards transportation, as regards jobs creation. We're saying that a government that has been there for 16 years cannot be talking about new ideas. We are coming to the table and saying that we're not coming to reinvent the wheel. We're coming with bold ideas that we have taken from different parts of the world, including our country. and that will bring this to the table to provide new opportunities for our population, because we want to have a true global mega city, one that works, one that we can be proud of, and that over the years, as the years come by, in the next 10 years, that you can say that yes, we have actually gone in leaps and bounds in the last 10 years. We take note that others have come to this state. We had a Jakande that in 4 years was able to change the scene. We have a situation in Lagos that there is also one where we have to unleash the potential of Lagos. We believe that those in government today, or those that own the government of the day, are keeping Lagos under some kind of shackle, and that it is time for us to break those shackles so that Lagos can grow.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can we please sit in? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Let's hear from the APC candidate. Close remarks, sir. You have 3 minutes, sir.
I want to thank the panelists.
Hello, please, can we hear the same way we heard this segment? Can we hear Mr. Ambode, please?
I want to thank the panelists. I also want to thank the audience for listening to all that I've always wanted to pass across. I represent a tradition of excellence and continuity. I represent the best of public service and the private sector with the requisite international and local exposures. I represent the best from the stable of All Progressives Congress that has produced a Lagos State economy that has a AA positive rating from Fitch. Lagos State cannot afford to substitute experiment for experience. Any first-class business entity can understand what it means to entrust an employee that has 27 years experience to his business. An employee who has trained himself and retrained himself. An employee who has traversed the public sector and the private sector. I dare say I am that employee. And then what is it that we're talking about? Yes, they have said Lagos is working. We want Lagos to continue to work. They have said,
Thank you.
they have said we have good governance. Yes, we want to continue to have good governance. They have said they are not coming to reinvent the wheel. Then that means they are happy with what we are doing. The only thing they are saying that they have bold ideas. But these ideas, are they new? The answer is no. There's nobody, none of us, as an investor, will leave his business to an intern. It's not going to happen. When you look at what is happening in banks, there is no way.
Thank you. Thank you, APC members. Thank you. Let your candidate finish. Let's hear your candidate. Thank you, APC. Thank you. Do you want to hear your candidate or not?
I hear Mr. Ambode, he says he has corporate experience, that beyond his one-shop pharmacy, that he has done manufacturing and that he has produced drugs. But we've checked in the books, where is the company? So he doesn't have anything beyond the pharmacy. And then the only thing he has next is all about the directorship that he has in businesses. But fantastic. But is that good enough for him to come and govern Lagos State?
Thank you.
So I urge all our organized private sector businessmen that are seated here. I take this as an annual general meeting. I want you to ratify me as the next governor of Lagos State, because I believe strongly. I believe strongly that what Lagos needs now is continuity. I believe strongly that we have a Lagos that all of us can join